Good afternoon. My name is Jacob Maricle, and I'm a grade 10 student attending Valley View Secondary School. Living in a city like Kamloops is pretty sweet. With great amenities and great people, it makes a lot of things to do around town fun. So, one thing that I, as I'm sure many of you, as well as many people in first world countries take advantage of, is clean drinking water. If you live within the city limits of Kamloops and many other large centers, you have an unlimited supply on tap. One thing that I love is water. I'm always carrying around a water bottle, and if not, I'm making consistent stops to the water fountain. I'm also making consistent stops somewhere else, but I'm not going to tell you about it. So last May, I moved out to Pritchard. For those of you who don't know, Pritchard is 30 minutes east of Kamloops and 10 minutes west of Chase. I loved it out there. Being so close to nature and so far from people was actually quite nice. So when we went out there in May, the first thing we were going to do is have dinner. So first thing I was going to do was try to wash my hands. So I walked in the house, walked in the kitchen, and turned on the tap. What did I see? Nothing. Not a drip of water came out of my tap. It was bone dry. How, I wondered. So I went to my dad and asked him the simple question. Why was there no water in the tap? He told me the pump wasn't turned on yet. I still didn't understand. I was used to living in Kamloops where power on or power off, you had water at your disposal. Then it hit me. We were so far out in God knows where that we were on a well. He also informed me we had to go out to this well to make sure that there was an adequate level of water for that year. So we made our long trek out to the back of our property, and I see a little green tin roof with a wood frame. We lift it off, as well as the layers of insulation in between, and to our delight, we see a large amount of water. It being May, it's not too surprising because snow would have just melted. The guy who had also put out the pump and the well had also put electricity out there for a light, so you could check the color of the water and you could check if there was any debris floating in the water. So when we turned on that light, it was disgusting. I saw a duck. Now, not that kind of duck, or that kind of duck, but a dead, floating duck. All soggy, contaminating my water. It was disgusting. But you may think that's bad, but there was worse. With it were two mice. Yet again, not like this, or like this little cute mice, but dead, two dead, soggy mice, floating in my water, contaminating it. Gross. I told my dad I couldn't drink this water. I valued water and I need it. So he then later phoned the water filtration people. We got it set up, and the three amigos, as I like to call them, were removed. But living off a well, and as many people who have wells know, especially backed by a mountain, it contains hard water. Hard water is a high level of calcium and other minerals present in the water, which causes it to break down appliances such as your dishwashers, washing machines. It also leaves that white stain you see around toilet bowls and sinks, and it can also break your faucets. So not only did we have to get a UV light put in to kill the bacteria, we also had to get a water softener put in, which uses rock salt sized pellets, so about that big, to break down this calcium and other minerals in the water. So now my water was clean, but the salt made it as salty as the ocean. So we still have to take water in from Kamloops in the 18.9-liter jugs and bring it out so we can have clean drinking water. So some of you may be wondering why water is so important. It's involved in two life main processes, photosynthesis and cellular respiration. Our body requires it. It's composed of two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom covalently bonded. In school, we learn of the water cycle, where water gets evaporated from the ocean, it then turns into clouds, clouds rain on the mountains, mountains rain down into the soil, soil to lakes, to rivers, and so forth, back into the ocean, and so the cycle continues. 70% of the world is covered in water. Of this, 97% is your saline water found in your oceans, seas, and saltwater basins. That leaves 3%. Of this, 68.9% of your fresh water is your glaciers and your permanent snow cover. This leaves about 31.1% of fresh water left. Again, of this, 40.8% is highly inaccessible water found in your groundwater, your swamps, your bogs, your wetlands, and just running over roads. So that leaves very, very little amount of water left. So last year, I was like many of you. I didn't care about water. It was at my disposal on tap. But now that I've moved out to Pritchard, I see how little water there really is to go around. People that I live by actually have to get water trucked into them because their wells don't produce enough water. So, living in Kamloops, it seems like you have endless. You have the South Thompson River, which then takes all the water. They take all the water out of the South Thompson River, take it up to the water filtration plant, then gets filtered and becomes some of the cleanest water in North America. Even though the South Thompson River is a large, dependable body of water, it can go dry eventually. It's never going to be perfect. So we want to make sure to use less water for future generations to come so they have some water to access. So one main thing, especially living in a city like Kamloops, you can do is cut back on watering your lawn. It doesn't have to be that deep, dark forest green, but it can be more of a lighter green, as long as it's not yellow. One thing I must reiterate, though, is drink lots of water. It's very important for your health. My name's Jacob Maricle, and water matters to me, and I hope it matters to you.